Say what? Okay. Yeah. Bastion. Interesting. Whoops. What an interesting quest. Fucking up. Straight. fight something like this. Alright, up to the top we go. Ah. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna find out. On to the next quest. Faithful gentleman. Yeah, I should put the music on. Inflated ego. Speak to Voitha. It's interesting. Ooh, nice. part's done. Well, they ascended. It doesn't really help me, does it? Hero's Rest, I guess. Excuse me. And we turn into the worm. Sort of going over this way. Yeah, quick striking. Although killing these doesn't count towards defending CP, I guess that would be too easy. Killing me. Nope. Oh man. Oh, excuse me. Much easier now. What up?
How's it going? You're on late.
Yeah, I mean, I fell asleep a little bit ago and then decided to wake up. So I was gonna play earlier, but I fell asleep. So
What kind of a character are you playing?
I'm on my main right now.
And what is that?
My druid, guardian, tank.
Mm. Evidently, I fall asleep all the time in my computer chair. My nephew came down last night, I guess, and said I was dead asleep in the chair, just very quiet. Scared him, he thought I had
Well, you are old.
died. Oh my God, of all the people I never thought I'd hear that from, you were number one on the list.
Why is that?
You didn't seem like the kind of guy to make an ageist joke. It's okay. I appreciate it.
Well, when you're telling me you're falling asleep in your chair,
Yeah, it happens when you don't sleep in your bed for like 3 days. You know, because you just can't wait to come across friends or whatever.
I understand.
So much of this game is new to me. Even though I played it for 10 years, I played it wrong the whole damn time.
Why do you say that?
Because I never availed myself of their camaraderie, you know, that guilds bring. Um, whenever I joined a guild, it was just so that I could get the Hearthstone cut in half. And I never did anything much. And when I say never, I mean in all the guilds throughout 10 years, once before this one. And they were kind of like more smoke and mirrors than something of substance, you know, being there. Um, what I do is I never get into it. Because I'm frankly just too sensitive. When initially when I like do dungeons, it took me about 7 years to get the courage up to do a raid. But anyway, doing dungeons, um, back then you could have a blood decay, and you could run the blood decay as a DPS by I don't remember what it was, but think of it as a flip of a switch. And so I'd level him as a blood decay and go into dungeons as a damage. And this one time, Tank got all over my ass, and he would not stop for the whole thing. Like he just wanted me to leave, you know. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
healer kept on telling me, "Don't go, don't go, don't go." You know, like in private message. So I didn't go, but the burn stayed forever. And I just remembered it that way. It was hurtful. So, long story short, I never killed it right. I never played the game right. I would, back then, I think, 60, I got on right as Lich King came. And I remember 60 being a limit and maybe 80 being the limit and 90, 110 or 100. And anyway, throughout those, as I take a character up, I ended up liking the experience in the starting zones. So I level somebody up to 20 or 30 or 40. And right before it was time to pay for flight, I delete them. And I did this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tunes. I never played them properly. And then when I got approached by this guild, I really didn't want to like do Discord or any of that, because I did a meet and greet today with a shy young man, and I shared some of my past painful experience with shyness, and he was happy to hear that he wasn't the only guy walking the planet, who suffers from crippling shyness. I had told him one of the instances was in college. I used to pay my roommate to order a pizza for me because I couldn't even get on the phone to call and order it.
That's my wife.
I was dreadful, and so I would delete these tunes because they get so high, and I didn't need them to go any higher. Get into a zone I don't like, so okay, just delete them. And then this guild said, we do Discord, and you have to, get into Discord. And I thought, okay, I can. And they saw to it that I got into Discord, and probably have regretted it ever since. But I met guys here, a few girls, though we've never played. So mostly it's just guys, but I've met guys who didn't make me feel threatened.
Yeah.
And they were, you discover soon enough, they're decent people. Not that that's a shock. I mean, I know decent people exist everywhere. But in my, again, experience, decent people were few and far between. So here was a guild just full of them. And then it made me want to do better. And I asked if there was something I could do, and they said, well, yeah, we could use somebody in raiding and blah, blah, blah. And I got to liking it, even though I was perfectly dreadful. In fact, I loved it. But what I loved the most was the camaraderie and the laughter and the tears of, getting it done from beginning to end. Sometimes we didn't get to the end because we were just not that good. And sometimes we were. We made ourselves finally that good. I would never have taken up that kind of a challenge before. Never.
Yeah.
I couldn't give two shits. And something happened, and I liked it very much. I met a couple of guys that, became close enough to have them say, this is my real name, and become personal friends. Exchange phone numbers, talk, that kind of thing. I never did that before, ever. I had lived in Vegas for 33 years. I had been myself. And then when my sister's husband died, I came here to live with her. The house is so huge. And I didn't realize the very slow process it is of going back into the closet. It was painful to realize that I had put myself back. And it's not like my family doesn't know. They all do know. Young ones know, the old ones. But the people, the neighbors, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Don't let them know. Like at 73, I'm going to what? Bring tricks home? Get real. All I want is somebody to talk to, somebody to have a shoulder to cry on. somebody to share some joy with. You know, it's I don't have much time left. You know, people at 73 just don't. And I I want my last years, as it were, to be happy. And I got happy. I became very happy. Wimpy and John initially, and then some other people in the group, like Max, Boone especially. I can't say enough good about him. And some others, you know, but Max and June, they became brothers to me. Brother I never had. So we just got to be close. You know, I never put that kind of investment in a game before. People were very helpful. Because, and I got embarrassed because you know, you tell somebody you've been playing the game for 10 years and maybe expect you to know how to get from A to B. And I can't. I've got dyslexia so bad that I can't read a map. They'll say, can't you see the little mini map up there? Yeah, I see it. And do you see your die? Yeah, I see it. Do you see my die? Yes, I do. And I can't get to you. Unless you're a step away from me. I can't. I wish I could. God,
Is that a reason why you feared raiding?
Yeah. And now I've taken on the insane obligation of tanking. And
I like tanking though.
I love it. I'm not going to tank for the guild. I mean, if somebody says, I'm going to look at me somewhere, I need a tank. Yes, I'll volunteer completely. But to be a tank, no. I want to do it for love and joy, not for blood and sport. But I never thought I would. And then I play melee here, you know? And I've always done casting because why? You don't get to see the face of the person you're killing. And now as a demon hunter, you see their face and you're in their, you can smell their sweat as you slice them open, top to bottom. And I imagine all of that when I'm playing. I soak it into the pain. I just love the pain. You know, the characters do things I cannot do. Killing being the top of the list. But also jumping, flying, leaping. If I tried any of those things, I'd break every bone in my body. So
Yeah.
it's just great to be able to do all of that. Now that I took 80 minutes to tell you that story, I don't even know why I started. But there you have it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know where we started either. I think it was just you were expressing how much you have grown in the game.
Right. Yep.
Well, I know when I first got this game, and you know, it was 16 years ago, 15, 16 years ago. And I started on the Horde, and I was like, oh, okay, I want to be a hunter. And I was an orc hunter. And the whole reason I picked orcs was because I liked playing orcs in World of Warcraft, or I'm saying Warcraft 3. I like playing as orcs. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be an orc, and I picked the orcs. And when I kept dying, and I was dying, and I would die some more, and I just kept dying. And I was like, you know what, fuck this game. And And so I went back to playing like Planet Side or some other game, and my friend that lived with me, he had started an alliance character, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll give it another try. So I made a dwarf hunter. I named him Sandwich, and then I was got out of the starting area, and some person came along and he's like, hey, it looks like you could use some gear. So he gave me some gear, like just that he crafted, and just that one act of kindness made me feel like, oh, okay, I got better gear now. I can do this. And so I started along the path of playing more, and so just that one little act of kindness from a total stranger,
Sure.
got me to continue playing, and now I've been playing for 16 years.
Absolutely.
And as far as guilds go, I used to be a guild leader back in Wrath of the Lich King. And, yeah, we were, we split off from a different guild. Because we would all play together all the time. So, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start my own guild, because we were, kind of like the extras of, whatever guild we were in. So you're like, yeah, we want to do our own thing. So I went off and made a guild, and we never, we weren't hardcore raiders, but the camaraderie and stuff was fun, and we had sister or brother guilds that we would raid with, and it was good memories back then.
I've suggested to Wimpy that I don't know crap about sports, but I do know that baseball teams have the guys that you see play on Sundays or Thursdays, and then they have the guys that are in some league or other that not only do you not see them, you don't even hear about them. And these are the people that are developed into the people who go to first string. Well, I've suggested to him that you can go ahead, of course, and make a raid team that is, the one that goes and does their best for the glory of the guild. But why can't we have, like, there used to be an old TV show when I was a kid called F Troop, and it was from the cavalry days, and it was made up of all the flunkers, of all the other troops, and they all ended up in this one. And somehow these flunkers managed to save everybody, and they just did. They just saved. Every weekend. That's what it was. That was their thing. And I say, why don't we have an F Troop guild? Raider team, and just have it be people who, and maybe they're not the people who can play every Saturday or every Thursday or every something. And maybe one time we'll go raiding and we'll have 15, and maybe one time we'll go raiding and we'll have 8. But let's go and let people like myself, whose dexterity, years may be behind them, but still want the thrill of the hunt, so to speak. I don't see why we'd be denied to experience the win and the defeat and the having to prepare and all of that. Why? That's what this guild is. This is a guild for people who fuck up all the time. Yes, I step in the shit that kills constantly. I told Wimpy just not more than 3 days ago, how there are bookies in Las Vegas who would never take money on the 3 things that are me. And Number one, lion will die. Number two, lion will be told to get out of the stuff that kills. And number three, lion will not only be the first to die, he will be the one to die the most often. And by the time our little raiding season ended, just as I got good, it was over.
That sucks. Yeah, so back then I wasn't a tank back in Wrath of the Lich King, and in fact I had been like a DPS, like a Retribution Paladin, for the longest time. After I gave up my hunter, he never got past like 40 back in Classic. But so back when the Burning Crusade came out, I joined a guild. It's called Money for Yum Yum. I thought it was hilarious. And they were like, yeah, we don't really need any DPS, but we need a healer. They're like, we'll gear you up, we'll run you through stuff. I was like, sounds good. So I started healing, so through Burning Crusade, and then when I got into Wrath, I was just this awesome healer, and eventually when I became a guild leader, and I was like, okay, I have enough healers. I was like, now I need tanks. So I was like, man, where are all my tanks at? So I was like, finally, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna tank. So I just switched over to tanking and started, gearing up tanks. And I was like, oh, I like this. I like it. I like the lack of responsibility, to be honest. Like, my responsibility is keep aggro and, switch targets if need be. But you guys got to keep me healed. But I was like the number two healer on my realm. Yeah, so like gear score wise, I was like number 2. So even if I couldn't find, or my raid groups didn't get very far, I could, as soon as I would log on, people would be like, Dorkman, are you saved? Are you saved to something? That was my name back then, Dorkman. They're like, are you saved? I'm like, yeah. And they'd be like, oh man, okay, well, don't be saved next week. I was like, it just all depends. But yeah, I was pretty popular on my realm back then. And I didn't die. I didn't run out of mana, even though, a lot of people did. I just had the right trinkets, and I was a paladin, and the spells were different back then. So I don't know. Wrath of the Lich King was probably my favorite. Legion is second, and so far I'm enjoying Shadowlands.
Did you get into the whole garrison thing?
No.
No, I didn't do that.
I don't really like this anima system either. But I don't know, it's better than garrisons. Like, I like that they're adding some substance to the game, but like they should have kept artifact weapons. They should have let those stay. I mean, sure, drastically lower their power, but they should have kept them around. Or, like, I forget who it was, maybe it was you that was talking, like, if you're going to create a system, at least leave it in there for a few expansions. Don't come up with some brand new system every time you make a new expansion.
Every time you sneeze.
Yeah, or like how Sargeras was our main enemy for a long time. Like he was the end goal, and so at the end of Legion, it's like now we had Battle for Azeroth, where it's like, okay, are we going? We're going back to you know that boss is dead, so now we're in Shadowlands. So is the jailer gonna be just another expansion only boss, or is he going to go into another expansion? Like, okay, he's gonna we're gonna continue to try to get to him, but probably not. Probably just gonna get dusted.
One of the things I dislike so much about mythical creatures, and that's Batman, Superman, and the Jailer, and everybody else in between, is there's all this talk of them being, uh, the number one apex of their hierarchy, killer, destroyer of worlds, or savior of same, and of whom everyone needs to be afraid, except for the guy who isn't. And there's always a guy who isn't. And he always does something to prove that the guy you thought was the apex isn't quite. And that annoys the crap out of me. I how do I say? When I'm looking at the jailer, right, the first thing I notice is his heart's gone. That means somebody punched through his chest, took his heart out, and put the little pretty metalwork around, like he was that guy from Fabulous Four or whoever, Robert Downey Jr. And,
Iron Man.
Iron Man. And so obviously somebody's stronger than him. He cannot be the prime mover. He is not God in his universe. He isn't. Somebody else is. It just annoys the crap out of me when he's supposed to be. I know the people who know the lore are making guesstimates. And some of the guild people were doing it today, and they were picking people I never even heard of. I just have no clue. And like, is Sylvanas being used, or is she in charge? Is she allowing herself to be the handmaid of Satan, or does she not know? Does she know? Is she playing him or not playing him? And it's like, I don't care. I want her to get what she should get.
Yeah, she should die.
Get is not salvation. You know who I'd rather see come back and be saved? Because I don't know the lore and all that shit, but they're going to tell you anyway. The Lich King, bring him.
Yeah, Arthas.
Yes. Somebody who actually had a conscience. Somebody who took out the helmet and said, let me do this for humanity. Let me protect all of you. I've done bad. Let me pay for my sins this way. Can you imagine Sylvanas ever doing that? Because if you can, I'd like you to write that story.
No, she's been so twisted by hatred that she's just like, she feels. But I think with this expansion, she feels like she's had no control over her whole life anyway. And if she really wants to think about it, the jailer would be the whole reason that she is dead in the first place.
Correct.
Like, he's the whole reason, she became the Banshee Queen, because he enlisted Arthas.
Yep.
with the sword. So it's like, does she know this, and like maybe she's doing all this stuff to get close to him to kill him? I don't know. but there's so many people that love Sylvanas. You know, there were people that were excited that she became the war chief, but then it seems like, you know, people who become war chief kind of die or get replaced or do bad things. Besides Thrall and Vol'jin. I was pretty upset that Vol'jin died, to be honest, in Legion. And I was upset that Varian died too.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just kill him off. And it wasn't even that. It didn't seem like it was that great of a death for him. Like, you know, and where the hell is he in the Shadowlands? Shouldn't he be here?
Well, you know what? I write. Since I've retired, I write. I've been writing since 2012. And I write stories that are absolute fanciful, you know, fiction. Um, but I take real events from history and explain them in a way that uh, people would, sane people, would never come up with as a reason. Like, for instance, a while back I got really enamored of the Korean language because of watching some shows in Korean. And I wanted to learn some Korean so that I wouldn't have to be reading subtitles all the time. Because then you have to watch it like 3 times, you know? And I found out some things about the king who invented the script for Korean called Hangul. They have like, let's say 24 letters in their alphabet, and he wanted to write a language that the most ignorant person in his kingdom would be able to learn Hangul in 24 hours and be able to read the edicts that were being populated. That's what he wanted, and he succeeded. But I was so taken with this guy, his vision, you know, in the 1400s, to take care of his people this way. That I thought, okay, let me find out more about it and more about it. And then, you know, every country pretty much has a story called the mythos of how the country came into existence. You know, Rome has Romulus and Remus, the 2 twins, you know, nestled by a wolf.
Yeah.
And every place has their same thing. And in Korea, they had their same thing. They had a guy who, the way they described it, the guy came down in a spaceship in about the year 57 BC, and was so good at being a swordsman and archer that he helped save Korea from many invasions. So he's kind of like then their George Washington. So I read every flipping story, or I'd even go talk to Koreans in Koreatown and ask them to tell me the story, because every one of them remembered it and therefore told it a different way. And I decided to incorporate him in my story. And when I was doing this, I wanted a twist to the story. So I gave it. I needed him to stretch through history. I couldn't have him just be around in 57 and be gone. I needed him in 57, and I needed him back in 1546 for the great King Sejong, and some other times in between. I wanted it to be him, the very him, not somebody like him. And so I came up with a way how he could be immortal. And at one point, I had to kill one of my first characters. And it was not easy. Easy was identifying who had to go. Writing wasn't easy because you're saying goodbye to someone. So when in a story like World of Warcraft they've killed somebody, it's because they've gone bankrupt with ideas. They don't know anything else, and that's what I had done. And in writing classes, they told me you're going to have somebody you think is the most central to the arc of your story, and you're going to find out you need to kill that meteor. No arc for him, and that's what happens. You go dry on the guy, and so you just pretend. Well, let's kill him, have him be gone. What happens? What happens to the vacuum, the power vacuum? That's a whole new story you can go after. Well, I think Blizzard went so totally bankrupt with ideas, became so devoid of any of it that they decided to rewrite history. Maybe they were sick and tired of people screaming canon, canon, like Star Trekkies, and said, you know what? Let's deliver unto them an entirely new story. And I'm prepared for all of the original cast currently in as it were this episode to be gone. Who's so important that they have to stay?
What, in this story?
Yeah. If in the next iteration, right? So like when 10 comes out, who has to be there from the old days? How are they going to get us back to Azeroth? How And what I keep on thinking is, when we were sent there, we were sent with the mission statement of find Anduin and bring him home. Are we going to one, find him, and two, bring him home?
True.
I don't know that we will. I don't know that we need to. Is he really important? I don't want them to hurt him. I know a lot of people don't like the Boy King. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Try running a world when you're only 17. Good luck. It killed Alexander the Great.
Ugh, so many world quests to do.
I'm struggling with my that thing you got to do down below in Torghast or whatever it's called. I helped John get through his second level today, and yesterday I tried doing level 3 and got my butt handed to me. By the time I got to big boss number 4, I couldn't get past it, and I died too many times. And then I asked kids, did you all think that maybe they did something to make things tougher? Well, it turns out, yes, they did. On Tuesday, when we had the patch hit, they cranked up the volume on all the baddies because too many people were getting through too quickly. And I thought, well, isn't that nice? Let them through, and then we pay the bill. And then somebody read that tonight, this very night, they had released some magical way a patch that took back everything, made it 6% easier from level 1 to 3, and then by the time you get to level either 6 or 8, it was 26% easier, and that was still harder than what it was before.
So they made Torghast harder.
and then called it back still, but it's still ahead. So there you have it. That's it.
Yeah, has the guild went into Castle Nathria yet?
But not as a guild. I don't know if anyone. I don't know anyone who personally has. I've certainly heard about it, read about people doing it. Um, I remember today walking on some um, parapets as I was running through Vampire Land, and one of the ones I crawled over was uh, exactly that castle. Oh my God, here it is. Did I go in and see? Hello, anybody home? I don't think so. I'm getting ready to throw my first party. I didn't know it was a thing for the vampires, that they are like, party queers. They have to have this fabulous party, and I'm having to throw one for them. I just did the dress rehearsal so that they could teach me about uh, being more this or less that, and it was kind of funny. I think I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so much. As long as I don't have to go down to Fairyland for those grown-up Smurfs, I totally dig uh, the. I never think of its name. Um, the M place.
Maldraxxus.
Meldraxxus, that's it. I like that place. I haven't done all the questing because it wasn't my end game. But I liked it. I couldn't believe I liked it because I'm not a horde person, but to me this is like an alliance person being horde. It was cool.
Yeah, Maldraxxus is kind of that way.
I like the kind of in your face, toe to toe, how they do. And the other, of course, is the vampire. It gave Blizzard a way to have vampires come into the story. And, everybody was saying, "Oh, it can't be done. It can't be done." Well, guess what? They did.
Well, they kind of already had it with the Sand Lane. The Sand Lane from Wrath of the Lich King.
Yes.
So, they kind of already had that, but, this is the Vinthier. So, that's their word for vampires, pretty much.
Bram Stoker only knew what he was doing.
At least they didn't put this out in vampires during the Twilight era. And but I like it. I like Horde, but it's hard to find it's hard to find a similarity between myself and the Horde.
And for me, it was the dissimilarity. I played Horde in the day when 80, I think, was tops, because I still have some 80 level characters, and I'm thinking that I got them to 80 and stopped. That was the limit of what I was doing. But I play with friends, and almost always, oh God, almost always. Only my husband wasn't a horde. Everybody else I played with was, oh, come on, play horde. Okay. I don't understand Orgrimmar. I could never figure it out. I've got my problems with maps, and boy, that place did.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't for my friend, a friend of he's also been playing He's my friend in real life. Like, we were friends in high school. But if it wasn't for him switching over to the Alliance and giving the Alliance a go, I would have tried. I would probably never would have played again.
I think it's fun playing with somebody you know in game. I played with a girl from work, and a poor thing, she just couldn't stand killing things, so she'd make a panda and spend her day picking flowers and fishing. That's all she did. She stayed like level 5, and that was it.
Well, you heard about the guy who's hit max level from just picking flowers on Pandora Island, right?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, yeah. He's max level, so he's level 60, and he has never left the beginning area for the pandas.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so all he's done is pick flowers.
Oh, I wonder if people talk to him when they see him. What the hell are you doing here, level 42?
Well, because he never wanted to kill anything, and he never wanted, like, and he knew he would have to kill something to pick a side. So he's neutral. He's just a Pandaren. He's not a Horde Pandaren. He's not a Alliance Pandaren. He's just a Pandaren, max level.
They should make him be an ambassador to some place.
Yeah, for real. But like he was max level like 110, right? So he was level 110 or whatever it was. But all he's done is pick flowers. He's over 200 hours worth of gameplay.
I cannot imagine.
Me neither. Okay, you kind of, I get it, but you're kind of robbing yourself of the rest of the game. But hey, hats off to him. He probably doesn't have much of a life or a girlfriend or
Or a dog.
right, or
Probably a goldfish.
possibly.
Okay, plants.
But I mean, I was, I think back to where like what would I be doing if I would not have if I wouldn't have been so like, oh, I want someone to spend my life with, and I was just like, oh, how about I just get this money and be a single person.
Well, I can answer that question. For me, I was 11 years old. I certainly didn't know I was gay. I knew at 4 I was different. But at 11, my oldest sister had her first child. And that Christmas, he got all the toys, and I got only clothes. I got t-shirts, underwear, and socks. And I made the connection very quickly that if you want the toys, you don't get married. And I remember telling my mom, I'm not getting married. And she said, oh, you will one day. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to get married. And then she said, why? And I said, because I want all the toys. She had no idea what I meant, so I had to explain it to her. I want them all, big and small.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just
But I'm going to die alone. You're not. And there you have it.
well, I mean, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have been alone per se. Can't tell if that's my cats. Yeah, that's my cats messing with the door. Little bastards. Oh no, wait, that's my daughter snoring.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh yes, the treasure.
At least you didn't say white.
No. I'm the one who snores. If I sleep on my back, I snore. If not, I'm good.
Same here. Lately, I've gotten to hating going to bed. I will, and I fall asleep quickly. And I love waking up in the morning and going right back to sleep. But I hate going to bed. Hate it. And so I made this dumbass mistake of staying up for almost 4 days. It was so easy to do because some people get off of work at whatever time, and so uh, some are done and ready to call it quits between like 6 and 8, and some are just starting between 6 and 8, and then somebody going from 8 to 10. And last night we were farting around, and I kept on telling people, I'm retired, but you have to go to work tomorrow. And oh yeah, no, no, no. And then somebody woke up and realized it was now 5:30 in the AM. That's no joke. And I didn't sleep. And tonight I made the dumbass mistake of I got an espresso machine, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna make myself something safe. I'm gonna make myself like a cappuccino that goes in the little mug, and it'll be lots of water, so don't worry, because it's the same amount of coffee, but watered down. And I thought, okay, since that's just so weak with coffee, why don't we put a shot of espresso in it? And so I did. And oh my God, it was so strong. So strong. And not only am I awake at 3:45 in the morning, but I'm absolutely prepared to write a term paper. How I feel.
It is 3:45 in the morning, isn't it?
Uh-huh. And right now, my paladin, or as John would say, paladin, I should pull him up. You and I have been talking, and June and I have been writing, and he's another one who stays up late, but the man owns his own business. He can do what the hell he wants.
Yeah.
I'm retired. I can do what the hell I keep on telling him he's a grown-ass man. Tonight he had to remind me I was. Okay, let's see, Dan, where are you? Oh, I died. How the hell did that happen? What happens when you hang out on the open? I have to go to Blue Boy Land to finish. I'm at 76% of a world, whatever.
Huh.
The hardest thing in the world to do. Oh, here I am. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 buttons to go, and he's going to be 60.
Oh, nice.
And it's the hardest thing in the world to do. I mean, you get close, and it's like, oh my God. It's like nothing is harder than being close. It's hurry up, and it never happens. And when did paladins get so damn squishy? God, you'd think this guy was a warlock.
Are you a tank?
I played him first as, what did they call it? Retribution. And then I played him as a healer because, my goodness, he could level quite well as a healer. And he could annoy the piss out of anybody and not die and kill, man. Jeez, like a tiger he could kill. But now, 59 3/4, he
That's so crazy. I've been so busy doing world quests and stuff like that that I mean I haven't. I've only cleared level 2 of Torghast.
Uh,
I've done level 3, but I died, and I only died because it wasn't mobs that killed me. It was traps that would kill me.
oh, like that swinging lovely blade cut you in half.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it gets you coming in going. You step back and you get the second half of your life taken from you. The hardest thing to do with that is to remember to go forward, go forward. Don't get it a second time. Oh well. I love the game. I love the music too.
The music where?
In the game, the expansion. I'm
Oh
in
yeah.
Meldraxxus right now, trying to finish up. Um, one of those. Why is this thing not even getting ill? Oh, he died. Um, where am I? Oh no, that's for the fairy people. They're at 76%. I had to give up. I couldn't deal with it. When a damn butterfly can kill a paladin, something's wrong.
Was it an evil butterfly?
Yeah, it was evil. It was probably named Develop.
No, I'm a tiger right now.
Meow. Yeah, he was evil. Probably a moth. I swear I don't know why God went and made some of the crap he did. Like snakes, do we have to have them? Is there nothing on the planet that can take the place of a snake? Nothing. Did it have to be a snake? Spiders. Is there nothing that could do what a spider does better, more efficiently? Did it have to have 8 legs? Do all spiders have to have venom? Every single one, because that's how they eat. Why? We don't feminize what we eat.
Right. No, we shoot it.
Okay, you get my point, even though you've ruined it. And why can't paladins fly, damn it? I want everyone to be able to fly. I fly so much as my demon hunter. Like, for instance, when you have to jump off a cliff or somebody's chasing you, you can fly. Oh, and Mace can slow fall, but I can fly. And do you know what a paladin does? He falls like a rock. And when he hits, it's not pretty.
Nope. He can bubble though.
He can what?
He can bubble and fall.
Oh, really? That'll work?
Yeah, if you press your bubble and you jump off a cliff and you bubble before you hit the ground, you're fine.
Oh, okay. How long does said bubble last if you were falling and it might take, let's say, 8 seconds to hit?
Well, you can cast it at any time while you're falling, so just when you see yourself getting close to the ground, cast it. I think it lasts for about 4 or 5 seconds, maybe 8 seconds.
Coordinated. Okay. Cooldown remaining 28 seconds. Oi, it lasts for 8 seconds. Cannot be used if you have forbearance. Causes forbearance for 30 seconds. I don't know what forbearance is. There's too much.
So forbearance is so when you use that means that you can't use another shield like that on yourself for another 30 seconds because you have a couple. You have a couple different shields.
Thank you. I understand it annoys a lot of people in the guild that I ask too many questions.
Nah.
Yeah. hire somebody to be a librarian. I just want to play the game. I just want to have some fun.
Same.
Somebody wants to duel sometime, go ahead and ask. I'm gonna die, but I will fight you to the death. Sometimes I win. I love doing PvP, and that's something I like. If people who knew me as a kid heard me say, "The man likes doing PvP," no, there's no way. Yeah, wait, no way. Somebody else. And now I love it.
I've yet to find the right PvP spec for myself.
Well, I know the person that you are synergized with is a rogue to play with, not against. You're mortal enemies otherwise, but together you're supposed to be rather unstoppable.
A druid and a rogue.
Mm-hmm. So doing 2x2s, yeah. Now, when it gets to 3x3s and all the other stuff, I don't know. I know as a tank, I like guarding the flag, and rogues can, of course, stealth themselves and hide either by the flagpole or somewhere close by, and it's so funny to see these horde people hiding in the bushes, so the rogue hides in the bushes to make sure nobody can see him.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, don't you know hunters have a flare, and don't you know that we demon hunters have vision that can see, and find you anyway? Didn't they tell you this in school? Nope. Good. The joy of sneaking up behind one. And boogity them.
Now, I loved in Classic, Classic when Twinks were a big thing. Twinks?
Twink in my world is a different thing.
Yeah, yes, I understand. No, Twinks. Twinks was like, so the biggest thing back then was like level 19 Twinks. So you just have these level 19, hunters, rogues, paladins, whatever. And you'd stop. Well, back then you didn't get experience for winning battlegrounds back then in Classic. So if you just got to level 19 and stopped your leveling experience and you just PvP'd, you had your main, of course, that would like fund your enhancements. So like mine, I had an enchanter, so I enchanted all my Twink stuff before I sent it over to him. But I had this rogue, and my real life friend of mine, he had a rogue as well, and we would just go in Warsong Gulch and just destroy people, and the only person that could really fuck us up in return was hunters. So hunter Twinks would just get us from far away. But so I put all of this work into this Twink of mine. Level 19 had the Shadowfang sword, which was like a really rare drop from Shadowfang Keep. But I had that. I had all this stuff, and me and my friend are in a group together, and this is back when you had to go to Warsong Gulch in the Elven Forest, over there on the Dornassa side, or over there on the Kalimdor side of the world. So we actually had to go over there to queue up. So, we're in there queuing up, and then like we come out of a game, and I'm just standing there. We've already queued up for the next one, and I'm just standing there waiting for it to pop. And then all of a sudden, I just see myself level, just ding, level 20, and I'm like, I look at my friend because he's sitting right next to me at my house, and I was like, "What'd you do?" He's like, I just went over here and killed a spider." I was like, "Bro," I was like, "Why would you do that? Why would you kill anything?" I was like, "I told you I was 18 experience away from leveling."
Oh my god.
So all that hard work, all that time, just like nothing, and that turned me off from twinking ever again.
I think it's cool that you came up with that name. I mean, you know, somebody
I mean, I don't understand its meaning in the game, honestly. Like, why twink would mean, you know, a badass character, that's gonna own your ass.
Oh, these pigs. I fought tooth and nail to get to a weapon. And when I kill them and get over here, the weapon's gone.
Don't you hate that?
I do. I hate that. I hate the people who did it and the people who allow it. This is one of the things I dislike so much when you're working on something and somebody comes up and steals your prize or sours it, you know, especially when they sour it. Like if I'm trying to, maybe I'm trying to tame a beast, you know, and some idiot will come and kill the damn thing.
Well, I know back in the day in Classic, it was like, oh man, okay, you just fought, like, there were like 7 or 8 mobs that you had to kill to get to this chest, and like, you sat there and you killed all the damn mobs, and then as you're killing the last mob that you need to kill to open the chest, some asshole comes up and just takes the chest.
Thank you.
They at least made it to where the chests don't disappear now. Everyone can just loot their own individual chest. But before, yeah, I'd get pissed off at that.
I think it's that some of that has helped me to get into PvP because I know you're fond of them and you probably have brothers there, but sometimes the horde can be, I'm just going to say naughty that way. Very naughty. Yeah, I got into it actually because of the leveling I told you I did over and over and over and over again. And I like the Elwyn Forest. I love it when it rains. Having spent so many years in Las Vegas, when it rained in the forest, I was really happy. But I liked leveling in Lakeshire when it was time to be there. And one of the things I didn't like was horde people coming by and ganking our women and children and killing them. And that's how I looked at it, is the Ballless Alliance just absolutely allowed them to do it. And I thought, well, somebody has to make a stand and say no. So I put Clear vs. Clear on and started annoying them. And if I knew where their women and children were, I even asked over and over again, I asked, where did they keep their women and children? I'll go get them. Nope, nobody said a thing. Then they camp out at Goldshire, or they camp out at is that little town right outside of Stormwind?
Yeah, that's
And
Goldshire.
yeah, they just sit there and have picnics, have little campfires going, and nobody makes them leave. And it's like, well, on one hand, I'm thinking, well, this is good. We should do that. Yeah, let's. Yeah, go over there and try it. Go to the front gate of
Orgrimmar.
Orgrimmar. I was thinking of Orgrimmeister, and try it. Go. See how long you live. You know, we're. It's not that we're tolerant. It's that